What up, YouTube? Scrubquad Pro here from the Cash Kelly and AC Network, bringing you a 2011 TNA Hard Justice pay-per-view review. Another good quality TNA pay-per-view. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright, so this pay-per-view started off with a triple threat match for the X Division title between Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, and Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick was the winner of this. Now, I would have liked to see this match a little later in the card because I like watching the X Division matches. They're electrifying, I guess you could say. You see tons of high-flying maneuvers. And now that you have Abyss out of the X Division picture, you see a lot more high-flying moves, and that's always fun to watch. So Brian Kendrick was the winner of that. Next, we had a Bound for Glory series match between the Pope and Devon. And the Pope won that match, giving him, 7 points, I guess. And then after that, we had another Bound for Glory series match between Crimson and RVD, which Crimson won by disqualification. Now, I don't really understand the point of this whole Bound for Glory series thing. I mean, I get that you're trying to give people more pushes and stuff towards Bound for Glory, but the whole series itself just doesn't really make sense to me at all. I mean, it'd make a lot more sense if it was like 4 people, but with 10 people, you know that not all 10 of them are going to get to be the number 1 contenders, so I don't know why they would consistently have 10 people fighting for their little points to be the best when Crimson is undefeated, and it looks like he's obviously going to get his shot against the world champion at Bound for Glory. So with that being said, I think this is one of TNA's. It was one of their ideas that they thought would help them against the WWE, and it really hasn't. It's sort of bland. It's sort of like WWE's King of the Ring, kind of, except there's points involved and it goes on from week to week. So I'm not really digging it, but if it's still around, someone has to be digging it. So that was it for the Bound for Glory series matches at Hard Justice. Next, we had a 6-man tag match between Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Gunner, Scott Steiner, and Abyss. So Fortune won this match. That was Chris Daniels, AJ Styles, and Kazarian. They beat Immortal. Now, I think this little Immortal angle is sort of dead now. No one's really afraid of them like they were once Jeff Hardy turned heel and they were coming and all that. They were honestly feared. But I think now they're sort of like the Nexus angle in WWE. They both came around the same time last summer, so pretty much at this time last year, and now they're sort of dead. The Nexus is obviously dead in WWE, and now Immortal is starting to die down. I've heard rumors that Hulk Hogan may turn himself face again, which would just completely kill the whole Immortal thing, because they are named Immortal because it is the Immortal Hulk Hogan. So hopefully they will find other ways to use the people in the angle. Like obviously Matt Hardy hasn't been on TV for a while. Jeff Hardy is dealing with some personal issues, so he's been off TV. And Jeff Hardy was definitely the main component to the whole Immortal thing when he was the champion. And now they don't really have a champion anymore. They brought in Mr. Anderson, but it's not really the same. So I think that by this time next year it'll definitely be dead. And I don't know if it'll be around by by New Year's time. It may even die right after Bound for Glory. So it was a good angle while it lasted, but I think now it's pretty much just dead in the water. Next, we had Bully Ray versus Mr. Anderson. This is sort of what I'm talking about. These two are both in Immortal. They're going at each other. So Bully Ray won this match. This was sort of the battle between, to quote Mr. Anderson, the battle between the two assholes, and there can only be one. And if this was just it, then Bully Ray must be the top asshole in TNA. But I definitely don't think that's going to happen. I think they will face each other again at Bound for Glory. And like I said before, it's just starting to kill off the whole Immortal angle when you have 2 people in Immortal going head-to-head against each other. Next, we had a World Tag Team Championship match between Beer Money and Mexican America. Beer Money thankfully won this match. I don't see Mexican America being tag champions at all. I don't like them very much. I mean, Hernandez is good, but Anarquia sort of reminds me of a ghetto, less talented Chavo Guerrero, and I don't know if I would continue to watch TNA if they won the championships now. I mean, maybe in the future, when they get a little more progress with their mic skills and in-ring ability, but if they would have won last night, I probably would have stopped watching TNA. It just would have pissed me off. And then the final match of the night was the Kurt Angle vs. Sting for the World Heavyweight Championship match. And like I said earlier in the video, this is where we were putting emphasis on Angle, because Kurt Angle won this match with a chair shot to Sting. So that raises the question, is Kurt Angle turning heel now? I mean, you didn't see it before, but this is sort of like what Jeff Hardy did. No one expected Jeff Hardy to take the chair from Hulk Hogan when he first turned heel, and now Kurt Angle did the same thing, and he now is the new World Heavyweight Championship. And ironically, I think when Jeff Hardy turned heel, he hit Kurt Angle with a chair, but whatever, that may just be a coincidence. But will this really elevate Kurt Angle's character this late in his career, or is there a bigger picture that we are missing that TNA may use to skyrocket their ratings up to maybe even compete with WWE? Because I think TNA is looking for that big angle. Like WCW had their New World Order angle that really took them past WWE, and then WWE, to fight back, they had the Stone Cold and the Rock and the DX. And I think right now TNA is looking for their own Stone Cold, Rock, DX angle that'll help them really be considered competition to WWE. And I think Hard Justice it was a step in the right direction, turning Kurt Angle heel, and hopefully we will see more of this progression at Bound for Glory and in the upcoming weeks. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.